Bonjour, hi, welcome back to another episode of CanadaOne. I'm your host, Matthew, and I know I've been gone for a little bit. We've had some recording things going on, but that doesn't matter because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. That's really important, so let's get on with it. Alright, number one, first and foremost, what we gotta talk about is the fact that Justin Trudeau does a complete U-turn on immigration. We'll get into that in the show. But it's not only the fact that he switches up all of his policies on immigration, including temporary and permanent immigration, is that for the past 8 years, the 9 years he's been in power, he's been continuously implementing new policies to the detriment of the Canadian population, and to the benefit, the great benefit, to the asylum seekers and to the immigrants that have been coming here. Then, we're going to talk about the fact that Pierre Poilievre, the biggest, the conservative opponent, axed the tax. You see what he's been doing now? He's been axed the tax. So stupid. Because we've got bigger issues, okay? The carbon tax is such a non-issue, and I'm so tired of hearing, you're gonna split the climate, you're gonna cut the taxes, you're gonna do better on crime. Shut up. I want the borders closed. I want people speaking French and English. I don't want to smell brown people anymore. I'm on the bus today, okay? Because I have to be. See, look, I'm a good person. I'm actually woke. I use public transit. I'm like a environment-oriented guy. Anyways, I'm on the bus today, all right? And I sit down. Then there's this fat Indian woman who comes on, sits in front of me. And the window's open, by the way, okay? I'm literally right next to the window, which is fully open. And I'm gasping for air because this bitch smells so bad. Like, it's outrageous. It's like, have you never seen a shower before? It's like, okay, you can stink in India, but when you come here, you better smell good. Alright, because I'm so tired. I'm so sick and tired. Then, I'm like stuck behind, I'm walking down the pathway, or I'm in a building or something, and I'm stuck behind more fat people. It's like, fat people should be banned alongside new immigrants. And especially, you shouldn't be allowed here, and you should be deported if you are a fat migrant. Cold take, I don't care. Deported, immediately, I don't really care. Oh, but you should judge people on the substance of their character. Nope. If you waddle down the street, alright, and I can't get around you because you take up the entire sidewalk, you should be deported, even if you were born here. No, I'm kidding. They should ban fat people. Can we get RFK Jr. on this? Can we get RFK Jr. to ban fat people? Because that would be the platform of the century. Ban fat people, ban migrants, and ban women. No more women. Anyways. Let's get into one of our first stories today, which is, it's kind of separate from Justin Trudeau for the moment, because we'll get into that. It's a big story. But this is just a fun tidbit, a timbit even, make it a little Canadian. This is about international students in Brampton, as usual. Wow, Brampton, you guys are so innovative. You guys are so new. So in Brampton, because it's such a diverse city, a vast majority of international temporary students, international workers, a lot of immigrants come to Brampton, okay? And a lot of schools have seemed to be set up. And these schools, they're not, they're not the Harvard of Canada. Okay, they're not McGill or U of T. Alright? These are undoubtedly diploma mills. Okay? Where you get a student visa, you come in, you do this fake course where the pass rate is like 99%. Then you get, then you switch up the visa, you start working, and then ultimately it's all to get you permanent residency. That's how the scam works. And we've had so many stories about, group of 500 Indian students trying to scam the system using diploma mills. And, the Ontario government, they know this. They've been cracking down on some of these schools, but there are so many of them that it's very hard for them to crack down. It's like, isn't it odd that you have a university or a college level school directly next to the immigration office? Like, really? You couldn't have been a little bit more subtle with that? Anyways, so these people, they're protesting, just like for some reason every other Indian temporary person in Canada, they're protesting. What are they protesting? The fact that they all failed their classes and they can't redo it because their visa is expiring. So roughly 100 students at the St. Clair College of Applied Arts and Technology, in partnership with Ace Acumen Academy. Tell me, does that sound like a diploma mill or what? Ace Acumen Academy. So they all fail all their classes, okay? So in January, right, they fail 132 students, failed their techniques of system analyst. Okay, techniques of system analysis. Yes, at Ace Acumen College. Well, what are you studying? Techniques of system analysis. I don't even think these people can pronounce that. All right? I want to hear an Indian person tell me what they're studying at Ace Acumen Academy. And by the way, it's not like these colleges are like printing. Well, they are printing money, but it's not like they're, the tuition's outrageously expensive. It's $3,000. It's $3,000 a year or semester in order to retake the course. And these guys are out here protesting. They're like, "Oh well, we can't pay I can't pay the $3,000." Yes, you can. We all know you can. Then, more recently, okay, well, these are kind of like, because some of the people were protesting under the different school. Anyways, there's a separate school called Algoma University. Okay, another one of these diploma mills in Ontario. Roughly 50 students, international students, were accused of cheating online. All right, and then they failed their online finance and accounting course. Right? So they essentially, what happened is that, and this is what they're claiming, they're going, well, it's an online class, by the way, okay, that these people failed. So they're doing the test online, and there's a mechanism in the test which is meant to stop people from cheating. So if you highlight questions, obviously to copy and paste them into Google or whatever, then a secret second question box appears. If you end up answering that question, they know you are cheating. Because if you didn't highlight it, that question would never have appeared. All right? So these 50 plus students end up doing this thing, and the school's like, well, you guys are obviously cheating. By the way, like such a low level of cheating, really? You got to highlight, you can't just type it in. Well, so you get when you got international students studying online finance and accounting. Where are these people going to work? These international students are not going to work in Canadian finance. These guys aren't going to work at your RBC. What, are they going to go back to India and stud and work in their banks? No, because their entire population has like 5 university degrees and their unemployment is still 30%. It's like, what are they studying for? Anyways, so they start protesting and people start reaching out to the school, and they're like, yo, is this racism? Are you just trying to extort these people? The school goes, the pass rate for this class that had the test was 91.9% pass rate. So, can somebody explain to me where the racism is? Where the targeted, oh, well, we're going to target them so they have to repay us the $3,000 to take the course again. Really? The average pass rate for these types of courses for international students is 91.4%. Sorry, I flipped it. Yeah, I flipped it. Anyways, 91.4, 91 point. Who cares? You name me one high-level Ivy League school where the pass rate is 90, almost 92%. It doesn't happen. You know what? Let's do a live search. Okay, let's do a live search. Average pass rate, let's say Harvard. All right, because Algoma University. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I just got fact checked. Yeah, it's 98%. Okay. This is saying 96%. All right. Well, just like Donald Trump in the latest debate, I just got live fact checked by a gay retard. Thank you, Google. Please influence the elections more. Anyways, the point is, the pass rate is extremely high. Okay? And these people, they're protesting. Then, Harrison Faulkner, as we know from, was it True North? True North? He goes up to go interview these protesters. They're just like sitting on the lawn. And he goes, all right, guys, what's the proof that you have that the school was, racist against you or that they're treating you unfairly? And these people go, we do not talk to Rebel News. And he's like, well, I'm not Rebel News, I'm True North. And he's like, True North, Rebel News, same thing. And these guys go, stop fake news, stop, no more fake news. And then they tell him, they go home, racist. Can we bomb these people? Truly, I think the solution, this is what it's come down to. Listen, I don't want to do this, but here's the solution we're going to put forth. All right. This is the Matthew independent candidate. Shoot the migrants at the borders. And then every time a migrant comes in, we chip them. Okay? So if you're an illegal, you get shot at the border. If you're legal, which is going to be like 5,000 people a year, we put a chip in you, a tracking chip. All right? And then put that in a database. And if you ever get caught or if you're trying to do something bad, you get deported. I think we should chip the immigrants. It's like, we don't know what they've been doing in these other countries. Everyone thinks, well, these immigrants are getting vetted. No, they're not. No, they're not. Please, they're being vetted. Vetted by who? The Indian police? Their records are probably paper. Okay, it's not like we're operating with every piece of information from every country. Yes, the Senegalese immigrants that are coming here, oh, we check their records. They don't have any criminal records. Okay, yeah, but you also don't have houses. What about the Haitian migrants? They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They are, by the way, but whatever. So, and by the way, okay, with these students, over 40 of them were already failing the course. So don't give me this bullshit story. The school is racist, the school is racist. I don't care. I actually hope you fail. So that got me a little riled up when I saw that. I know this is an old news story, but, we've been gone for a while. But now it's time to get into, the meat of today's episode. And that is, Justin Trudeau's so many things about his immigration plan over the past 9 years that it's quite amazing to see the turnaround. It's very interesting, the U-turn that he's making, because he's realizing he's cooked. He just lost 2 seats. 2 more seats in by-elections today. All right? So it's not like he's doing too good. And the polls, of course, they're putting the Conservatives at a supermajority. Everyone's still complaining at me. They're going to split the vote. They're going to split the vote. I'm going to split your head open with knowledge. Okay, we're not here to advocate for violence. Anyways, so a new report came out saying that the Trudeau government skipped a bunch of fraud prevention for temporary workers in order to streamline the immigration process. And isn't it a coincidence that the Conservatives, this is exactly what Pierre Poilievre has been saying, we need to streamline immigration because it's broken? So in 2022, streamlining measures were implemented. All right? How were they implemented? By skipping some obvious fraud prevention. So like suspending routine checks of contacting the employer to confirm the applicant. Maybe, that should be verifying if the workers have lawyers. Clarifying overtime, vacation, and benefits. And again, this goes back to a few episodes ago where we said this is why Canada's foreign temporary worker program is ripe with modern slavery. It's the original point of the temporary worker program was that you're an employer. You literally can't find a single Canadian to do the job in the area. So you apply for this, and you have to pay to bring these people over. You have to pay for their housing. You got to pay for all these things. You got to tell them their rights. Okay, but it's like, how about this? I'm in India. I want to get out of here. And I'm being told that by these consultants, I'm being told that if you come to Canada, you'll probably get permanent residency if you stay here long enough. So I'm like, okay, deal. So I pay this company. They bring me over. And then I work a job where, I'm getting paid less than minimum wage. But I don't care because less than minimum wage is 1 billion times more than unemployment in India. So then that just keeps happening, and then, there's an accident or whatever, and it can go a lot of ways. Then, all right, in order to get all these things going, processing officers were directed to forget all of these things, to streamline immigration, because we need to get more and more people because we're in a worker shortage. All right? Worker shortage at near 7% unemployment. Great job. Cut those rates, Bank of Canada. Cut them down. I want 100 bips rate cut this time. Okay? Please, we need to jumpstart the economy. Why don't we extend mortgage? If Justin Trudeau he cares, why doesn't he extend, mortgages? Why not have a 100-year mortgage? That'll really help with the housing crisis. Why don't we build more tiny homes? And why don't we shelter every fentanyl user? Let them do fentanyl in the security of their own home. But this is just the type of rhetoric that the Liberal Party has been spewing forever now. It's like, well, we're going to fix immigration. Fixing it should mean drastically cutting it. That's what it should mean. It should also mean having more border agents. It should also mean making sure that the people that are coming in not only are gonna leave, but that they're not criminals. And also making sure that if you are an immigrant and you commit a crime, you leave. The fact that we don't deport criminal migrants is outrageous. Because nowadays, it's like, okay, I could kill 30 people, and because I have a wife and kid, I won't even get deported. In fact, I'll get maybe 5 years in prison. What has happened? Bring back the death penalty, bring back torture, bring back deportations, and shut down the border. That's all I want. And ban abortions. That's all I want. I'm a simple man. All right? And I just want a conservative party that is actually conservative and that isn't also going to support Ukraine, that also doesn't support, that also is going to support immigration, that's also going to support mass housing building through government spending, that's also not going to shrink the size of the government, that's also not going to balance the budget. It's like, what's the point of having these 4 political parties when none of them will do anything different? Oh wait, there's only one. Cut immigration, close the borders. Okay, and then there was this main article that came out. This is the title. It goes, "Liberals go hog wild on immigration to secure election." All right? And this is a very similar to what's been going on in the United States, where it seems like the border crisis is almost intentionally made. Why is the federal government tearing down barbed wire that Texas pulled up at the border? Why did they stop the construction of the border wall? Why is it that millions of people are just walking through the American southern border and that hundreds of thousands of people are entering through the northern border? It almost seems like it's done on purpose. And who would benefit by having vast amounts of immigrants come in besides big businesses? What political party would benefit from allowing millions and millions of illegal aliens to come in, get government benefits, be housed, be clothed, given phones, Wi-Fi, food? Who would? Oh, maybe the Democrat. Oh. So if you bring in millions of people, they're probably going to like you. They're probably going to vote left wing, right? And by the way, illegals are voting, okay? Oregon just mistakenly had all those illegals on voter rolls. Please. Big mistake, huh? But the way that things are counted in the United States is goes by population. So you could have more seats, you could have more representation in the government if the population of your constituency increases. Doesn't matter if they can actually vote. Doesn't matter. So if you take, let's say, a blue state like California, and you continuously flood it with migrants, the population will increase, right? Which means they'll get more seats, they'll get more say, and they know it's going to be blue. They know it's going to vote blue. Then what you could do is do the exact same thing, but ship them to battleground states. So now you're telling me you can ship millions of left-wing voting migrants who may or may not even vote, but if they do, they would vote left. Doesn't matter though, because it increases the representation of the left. This is election manipulation at its finest. And Canada, they're doing the same thing. We're doing the same exact thing here. The Liberals have gotten so desperate to win because in their minds they could never lose. Because they couldn't believe, they could not foresee that the Canadian, the population of Canada, they're like, well, it's so small and the territory is so vast. Why would they be against it? We're telling them there's a worker shortage. We're telling all the unemployed and homeless Canadians that there's a worker shortage, so we have to bring in more people. That's what they're telling you. So it has to be true, right? They're opening the floodgates to secure votes. The Liberals, they got you in, so who are you going to vote for? You're not going to vote Conservative. You're not going to vote People's Party. So how has he done this? Justin Trudeau implemented, as usual, many policies that are very pro-migrant and very anti-Canada. So the introduction of $7 electronic visas. Great. So now anybody with $7 can come into this country on a visa. And then, do they have to leave? Nope. Do they have to prove they can pay for themselves? Nope, not anymore. Thanks to Justin Trudeau. People on visas, they don't even have to prove. It's like the international student program. You're technically supposed to be able to sustain yourself without working. That was the whole point. You're also supposed to have a return ticket ready. So why is it that these people are coming here and they're working at all these fast food places and low-wage jobs? I thought that wasn't... I didn't think that was the deal. Anyways, then Justin Trudeau broadens refugee claims beyond the definition by the UN for persecuted people to include intersectional experiences. So you can say, well, I'm being persecuted in my country because they're not affirming my gender. And we're like, well, that makes you a refugee. Come on in. We're going to pay for everything. By the way, these refugees are receiving nearly $300 a day in food, shelter, clothes, at the expense of the Canadian taxpayer. All right? So the next time you see a homeless person on the street, think about who's causing that. Then they extended citizenship to foreign-born children of Canadian parents living abroad. So, explain this to me. All right? Someone explain this to me, if this makes sense to you. Your grandparents come here to Canada from India, for example. All right? Okay, I don't want to just keep shitting on India, all right? Because everyone's going to call me a racist. So your grandparents come here from China, all right? They have you here, okay? They birth you here. Let's say they're on vacation or something. With birthright citizenship, right? Because you're born here, you become a Canadian. Right? Then let's say you guys move back to China. Now, you're in China. You're technically a Canadian with Canadian citizenship. You have a child with another Canadian, let's say another Chinese, same situation. You have a kid in China. That kid is Canadian, apparently. They have Canadian citizenship. Those people, that kid can vote in Canadian elections. How? Who is that helping? Who? Oh, but the military people. No. Who is that helping? Well, it's a really convoluted... I don't care. Then, this is the craziest part. They removed the visa requirements for Mexican visitors. So what happened was that in 2016, the Trudeau government decides to remove the restrictions, the visa requirements on Mexican visitors, because a lot of them have been staying. And especially after hearing about the harsh Mexican and immigration rhetoric that 2016 Donald Trump had, Justin Trudeau's like, well, we're gonna reverse it. You know what that led to? A 70x increase in Mexican asylum claims. Then 8 years later, Justin Trudeau's like, this year, by the way, decides this was maybe a bad idea. Okay? This cost taxpayers $600 million a year in healthcare and shelter costs. Again, these people, this is all caused by the government. You're paying for this. $600 million a year for 8 years. And then guess what? Most of the claims were rejected or abandoned. So these people were freeloading for 8 years, pretending to be asylum seekers. And then after all of that, Justin Trudeau's like, well, maybe this is getting out of hand after you see a 70x increase. You're like, oh, turns out all of these guys are fake asylum seekers costing taxpayer money. I want these people executed. You fraud the immigration, executed. I want you dead. All right? And the final change, which I spoke about a little bit, no longer requiring visitors with visas to prove that they have enough money to live in Canada or to prove that they will leave when their permit expires. And that is how we get 500,000, which I still think is on the low end, illegal aliens living in Canada. So the Liberal Party are going to lose anyways. So what was the cost of all of this? Destroying the very fabric of Canadian culture, of Canada itself. We're at war. All right, we are fighting World War III. We're fighting it right now. And I'm not talking about Israel. I'm not talking about Ukraine. I'm talking about the demographic changes of this country should constitute a genocide. White people and white Canadians are being systematically replaced, and if you say anything about it, you're a piece of shit. Oh, the browning of America, that was fine. Nope, you're racist now. It goes, well, the Great Replacement theory isn't real. Then they go, well, maybe the Great Replacement theory is real, but here's why it's not that bad. Here's why it's actually good for you. And then it goes, if you don't support it, you're a Nazi. So let's get to Justin Trudeau's big U-turn on immigration. On August 26th, he's cutting foreign temporary workers and possibility for permanent residency, cutting it both drastically down. And I want to say drastically because it's nowhere near what the People's Party is going to do. So what they're saying is that in industries where the unemployment is above 6%, no more foreign temporary workers. Well, that's good, except 6% is still too high. It should be 3%, if that. Except, obviously there's some exceptions because there's some industries we can't even live without. Agriculture, construction, healthcare. Okay. It's very odd to me, but, this is a step in the right direction after, you see someone who's finally listening. See, finally, a politician that actually listens to its citizens. Then employers, they can't hire more than 10% of their workforce as temporary foreign workers. That's it. Tim Hortons is going out of business. They're cooked. Half the people that are there currently are foreign temporary workers. At minimum half. This is a great rule, I have to say. This is it should be 0, but this is a very good step in the right direction. So that's very good. Low-waged temporary foreign workers are now only going to be hired on 1-year contracts instead of 2 or 3. Very cool. It should be 0, but very cool. This is the number of temporary foreign workers. So in 2016, all right, we had 15,000 foreign temporary workers. Sorry, low-wage foreign temporary workers. So these are the people working at the fast food, they're working at the Walmart or whatever. 15,000 in 2016. 2024, no, not even 2024, 2023, that's up to 84,000 low-wage foreign temporary workers. Are you telling me there's 84,000 fast food jobs? The new target is going to be 65,000. That's the cut they're going to do. And you know why they're doing this? Quote, it'll ease the housing pressure. So they flat out admit it. Immigration causes housing prices to go up. They just admitted it. Every single politician knows this. Everybody knows this. But the people, they're being gaslit. No, it's not the students. Oh yeah? With the new international student caps, why are university towns' rent dropping by 45% after they see massive decreases in international student enrollment? Of course, rents, mortgages, housing prices, of course, they're all directly tied to immigration. It is simple supply and demand. If you do not see the connection, you are being gaslit. You can't just blame the immigrants for all the issues. Yes, I can. And finally, the last good news is that Justin Trudeau is going to be reviewing the immigration plan this fall. Great. Here's what I'm going to expect. He's going to cut it because their target right now is between 550 and 600,000. Here's what I'm going to see. I'm going to see 100,000 decrease. Yes. 100,000 less immigrants every year, which would be a godsend. But you know what would be even more of a godsend? A complete moratorium on all immigration until we can fix housing, healthcare, inflation, and all the other problems that Canada's having. And also a full deportation of all illegals. And also a no fraud system for temporary foreign workers. Except there won't be any left. We're going to kick them out. That sounds like a plan to me. Not this bullshit, watered down, plan made by a guy who knows he's about to lose everything. And this is his last-ditch attempt to bring in some, a little bit more of a conservative plan. But I guarantee you the conservatives aren't better. Why is Pierre Poilievre so vehement on pushing this direct flights from India to Canada? He will not stop talking about it. This guy is the most pro-immigration conservative I've ever seen. This guy's worse than Rishi Sunak on immigration. We're gonna stop the immigrants. No, you're not. And the declines and the decreases you're gonna introduce are gonna be so measly that Canada will be lost. Speaking of Pierre Poilievre, he just gets asked very recently about immigration. He's doing a press conference about something. He goes, we've got to have a smaller population growth tied to the housing stock. Then he goes, Trudeau and Singh have broken the immigration system. Thank you for providing the most vague answer on the planet. Oh, yeah, maybe we should slightly decrease the immigration targets because there's just too many people. But also we should build a jabillion more houses. And let's get rid of all neighborhoods and only put apartments. Please. I want the Calhoun walled city in Toronto. But instead we put all the... I'm not going to say that sounds racist. And then we bomb it. No, I'm kidding. But thank you, Pierre Poilievre, for your enlightened conservative take on things. This guy's such a axe the tax. Shut up. You're not Canadian Trump. You're not based. All right? You're barely centrist. Okay? I want to see the most left-wing politician in 1960 talk about how we need to let in every single immigrant ever. Look, we've deported, or at least America, North America as a whole, has been able to deport people. We've been able to cut immigration. All right? Woodrow Wilson did it. We could do it again. And all it takes is the will, because by the time you realize things are bad, it's already over. And I'm out here blackpilling on the bus thinking about there's no way we're going to fix this. Because people are so against the idea of blaming, these foreign people coming in. They're so against the idea. It's like, it doesn't mean you're racist if you want to have borders. It doesn't mean you're racist to say that people who are not born here shouldn't be allowed to, A, hold any political office. They should have no representation in the government. If they commit crimes, they should be kicked out. If they do not support our culture, if they do not convert to our culture, they should be kicked out. And that in order for proper assimilation, we need to have the borders closed for decades now to integrate all the people that are already here. And even several decades, it might be impossible just because of the vastness of people. How are the Indians, the Chinese, how are these people, the Africans, supposed to integrate in Brampton when Canadians make up 20% of the population? How does that work? Assimilation only works when you've got a very small cohort coming in at a time. Not 500,000 people every year for a country with a population of 42 million. It doesn't make sense. We need to stop it. And again, everyone calls you racist. It's not racist. Canada for Canadians. America for Americans. Europe for Europeans. And they're even more cooked than us. People are just getting stabbed left and right. You can't go to London. London is Britain's Brampton. London is 30% British. You go down the street, it smells like piss. And all you see are kebab shops. And then you get stabbed after you get mugged. You get mugged. You get mugged, then you get stabbed. You get mugged. Anyways, the final story of today is related to Europe. Let me guess where. Where are a lot of immigrants causing a lot of issues? Germany. So in Germany, they're having this festival, okay? And at this festival, some crazy person goes absolutely, quote, hog wild, callback, and stabs 3 people to death and injures 8 other people. So I'm going to give you a few facts, and you're going to tell me if this is funny or not, because I think this is hilarious. He is a Syrian asylum seeker, all right, who tried to stab as many people as possible for the Islamic State. All right? He targeted Christians to avenge Muslims in Palestine and everywhere else. Okay? He arrived in Germany in late 2022. His asylum claim was denied, and he was supposed to be deported last year. The kicker is, here's the hilarious part, okay? Where this failed asylum seeker, this failed Muslim asylum seeker, who should have been deported, who believes that Christians really are what's causing the death of Palestinians and Muslims worldwide. All right, it's definitely the Christians that are killing all these people. No. It's that, come on, we know who it is. Come on. This guy's just another low IQ, sand retard. All right? Indoctrinated sand retard that came into the country because they know he's going to get a bunch of benefits. Then he gets a knife and he kills a bunch of people. And guess where they do it? You know this festival? This was the Diversity Festival. Are you kidding me? The Syrian migrant kills people at the Diversity Festival in Germany. It's like I can't even make these stories up. This is too much. That is absolutely crazy. And I think the perfect place to end this episode. Thank you as always for listening. Stay Canada first. Stay CanadaOne. We'll catch you next time.